So can anyone see from there that I'm recording?
Yes, it's showing.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. All right. So okay, great. So I start sharing my screen now. So can you all see my screen, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. So I'll begin right now. We all understand. Please, I want to ask a question before I continue. Please, who is new to programming here? Who among us is new to programming? If you know you are new.
I am totally new. As in totally new. Program is a new word to me.
Okay, it's very important. Please, you can put it in the chat if you are new to programming.
Same here.
Put it in the
Same
chat.
here.
Okay, you can put it in the chat if you are new to programming. Okay, I want to know how many people are new to programming. I'm in the new world. Walai, Jalex, Ewale, Kujak. Okay. All right. So let me just assume that 50% of us or 60% are new to programming. And for those who are not new to programming, please, so which of the programming background do you have? If you have Python, knowledge, or JavaScript or any other programming language, can you please put that in the chat so that I will know where to begin and it won't be like we are doing some sort of magic. Okay, I think I'm not getting any response now. Okay, Python, JavaScript. They did Python, JavaScript. Okay, great. Okay, so far I can see only one person responded. He has a knowledge of programming language in Python and JavaScript. So I'm just going to begin. And it's also good if you are in intermediate. It's also good to know some of the foundational knowledge, especially the basics of programming, so that you can write effective program. So now, what is computer programming? Computer programming is a step-by-step process of designing and developing various sets of computer programs to accomplish a specific computing outcome. So let me use it like this. Programming language is a way of creating instruction so that I want to come to a layman's language so that you can grab, because these are Oyinbo's definition. So I want to come to our own level definition so that you will grab more, because everything about programming is about, it's just a representation of English into a computer. You are giving an instruction to the computer. It's a way of what, giving instruction to computer to perform specific set of mathematical computation or any other computation in order to give a specific result. When I use the word specific result is that when you are programming, you are not expecting the computer, you are giving computer instructions what to do. You are creating, like you are creating a protocol. Protocol is a set of instruction for the computer to understand and to be able to execute that command in the future and to be able to produce a specific instruction. Please, if you are not hearing me, you can say, you can come attention to it, please. Can we all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I want to be sure that I'm communicating.
Yeah, we
So
can hear you.
okay, all right. Based on what I'm saying, this set of instructions, can you see from here, the purpose of computer programming is to find a sequence of instructions that solve a specific problems on a computer. This definition is not complete. Not just a problem on a computer, to solve human related problem and the problems of humanity generally, because now programming is vast and is extending towards even every day of our lives. So you need programming in almost everything we are doing nowadays. So now, when you expect a kind of an output from a computer, you have to be deliberate about it. You are not saying, okay, I am calculating 2 plus 2. For instance, that 2 plus 2 now, I don't know what it's. I'm just calculating it. Whatever it brings out is it's what I'm going to take. No, you are going to be sure that if I calculate this 2 plus 2, it will give me 4, and that 4 must be the output, and that output is what I am expecting, and the whole world will see. And this output, there should not be another way for anyone to manipulate it. It should not have another meaning. What I mean by that meaning is your program must not be ambiguous. So now I will be using practical way. So now let me open my VS Code. I'm going to explain that later, but now I'll be using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, to explain. Okay, don't want this. Okay, all right. So just a minute, please. It's loading. Let me just create a file. Okay, no, don't want to do that, so that I can have access to it later. Um, Sorry guys, please. Okay, please, are you following me?
Yes, we are following.
Okay, all
Very
right.
well, very well, very well.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to set up a project so that we can always access it. Okay, all right. So I create a project called tutorial now. So that tutorial is going to be a Python project, because Python is language that everyone needs to understand. When you understand Python, there's no programming language that you'll not be able to grab very fast. So I'm going to create a Python file. I'm going to call it example.py. Okay. All right. So we're in the Python file now. So this is a Python file, and the extension understand that this is a Python programming. Whenever you want to create, can you see now? This is a Python extension on a Visual Studio Code. So now it's telling me that this is a Python file. Anything that that is prepared appended, I mean, it's that's this py.py is a Python file. So what I'm trying to say is this, you say 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2, it should give us 4, right? You give us 4. So this is what we are trying to program now. You want to tell the computer to execute 2 plus 2 to give you 4. So now you want to use a Python programming, because the computer understand different kind of, the only computer understand only one language, which is a word binary. Or you understand binary. So that binary is 1 and 0 that the computer understand. So all this programming language, they are compiled into what? Into computer code, into byte code that the machine can understand. And that byte code, some of them are compiled to binary directly for the computer to be able to understand it. Computer understand just one language, like I told you, 1 and 0. So we are going to use Python to write instruction for the computer to execute this 2 plus 2 to make it 4. So now in Python, we can say, okay, let's say number one is equal to 2. Okay, then number 2 is equal to 2. So now the result will now be number one plus number 2. Okay, so now in Python, you just, what you do is to print to print something and to show some the output to the console, you are going to use the word print. We print results. So if you run this code now, let's run this now. If you look at here, you come here up, we run it, and you see what it will be, what it will give us. What is this saying? Is this saying here? File example one cannot assign operator, cannot assign to operator. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is a mistake here. I'm not supposed, because the computer, the Python is seeing this thing as something that is available to hit. But we are going to comment this out. We comment this out. This is just something that we need to execute. So the Python will treat this one as a comment and you will pass it by. So let's run it again. So you can see from here, the answer is 4. Can you see this one, everyone? Can you see from here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So basically, that is what I am trying to prove to you, that programming, what programming is. So computer programming is very easy and is appropriately managed. There are many computer programming languages available. So finalizing the right programming language is not an easy task. What it's trying to say is, now you want to solve a problem, and that problem now you don't know which of the programming language to use, because there are so many programming language. Now selecting or making the decision of the programming language to use is now based on the kind of problem you are trying to solve. Okay, so if you want to solve, like you want to write a software application for mobile, you'll be looking at using like Java and other, like Kotlin and other, mobile friendly programming language. And if you want to use like web, you want to create a web application, desktop application, you're going to be using something like JavaScript, Python, and a few of them like that. So that is what this place is trying to tell us. So basis of programming language, English is the most popular and well-known human language. The English language has its own set of grammar rules, which has to be followed to write in the English language correctly. So let me now explain to you now. Please, I want you to pay attention, please. I want us to pay attention. So look at this place now. In this Python script, if you can see from here, this number here, we call it variable, because you are representing this number is a what? A variable, and 2 here is the value. This is equals to here is an assignment operator. We call it assignment operator. It means that this number 1, which is a variable, it is a placeholder for this value. A placeholder means it is pointing to this 2. We cannot cut this 2 direct. This 2 now is the value that we are interested in, and this is the value that we want to tell the computer. But we are representing it with this number 1, number 2. So now whenever we call this number, we make reference to this number, we are directly referencing this value, which is 2. And there are 3 things you have to understand here. This thing you are seeing here is a what? Is a sentence. Can you hear me? Are we there, please?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, all right, great. This number, number 1 is equal to 2 here is a what? Is a sentence. Like you have the verb, the subject and the object in a sentence, and in a sentence in English. And if you want to consult a complete sentence in English, you need a verb to be there, which is an action word, and you need something that will be doing that action word, and you need something to receive that action. Now Dede is what? Dede is eating rice. Dede ate rice. Dede is the object. Eat is the verb, and which that rice is what? Is the object. So there are 3 donuts. That is what makes it a sentence. It's a complete sentence. It is meaningful. So now Here, if I remove these two and I just type this number one like this, this is what's a phrase. It does not have any meaning. So you will see what Python will tell us. Let's try to run it now. See what Python will tell us. Can you see now? It say name number one is not defined. What it's trying to tell us is that this number one, it does not have any value. You do not assign any value to it. So it doesn't, the Python does not understand it. So Python panics. So now, if you want to make this a complete sentence, this number one is a phrase. And that phrase, you need to make it a sentence by completing it by adding what we call verb and what, and let's say just a clause, because a phrase and a clause make a sentence. So this equals to is the verb here. This equals to is the verb, and two is the object. Okay, so this makes a complete sentence. It makes what it is meaningful. So if you run it, the computer understands, and so that we will cut off more. I mean, a lot of time we manage our time. I will be also be telling you some of the things about the data structure along. So let me just come here. English and okay. Likewise, any other human languages, blah blah blah, are made of several elements like nouns, adjective, adverbs, preposition, and conjunction, etc. So just like English, Spanish, or other human language, programming language are also made of different elements. Just like human language, programming languages also follow grammar called syntax. And you see, English language follow grammar rule, which is the what? Object, verb, and subject. So likewise, a programming follows what we call syntax. And if you look at what I showed you here, this is a syntax. This number is equal to 7, 2 is called syntax, but it is a Python syntax. It is only understood by Python, not other languages. So here we have, now you say, okay, most important basic elements of programming languages are programming environments. Programming environment. What is a programming environment? Programming environment is it's a kind of integrated environment that helps you to write that language and for the that will be compiled for the computer to understand. It's an environment that takes the this data you are inputting, that will be able to process it for the computer to understand. Okay, now please come. I want you to pay attention. If you pay attention to it, it will pay you in the long run. This environment here, if you look at it here, this environment is called programming environment. And this is a word in Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is a what? It's a programming environment. It's an integrated development environment. That is what this one means. Then data types. Data types. Let's come here. Data types. These two here is a data types. And can anybody tell me what these two means in what kind of data type is this two? Can somebody tell me, please? What kind of data type is two in programming?
Number.
Number. No, not number.
Integer.
Integer. Brilliant. Good. It's integer. So in programming, this two is called integer in any programming language you are doing. But now we are not concentrating on language. I am explaining to you generally how programming works, and that's what we find in Java, what you will find in Python. These are the basics that you understand. If you don't understand it, there is no way you can move forward, you can understand programming. It's not possible. You will waste your time. So now, number two is a program integer. That is what data types. Then this okay, let me do something like this. Please, in this what I wrote here, what is day? What type of I mean data type is day here? Can anybody think about it?
String.
A string. Good. I think I'm hearing the voice of a lady.
Yes.
What's the name, please?
You're right.
Sorry?
Jackie.
Jackie. Okay. All right. Great. You have knowledge of programming before, right?
No, I learned this in yesterday's session.
Okay, all right, great. I love that. You are really improving. So dede is a string, and anything you see that is what that is preceded with a quote and end with a quote, here is what a string. So name here is holding a data type called string. And this is the value of this name. So if we call name now, it will print string. That is why here, let us print name. Let us print name. But you know that we are not, if we try to print dede, let's say we want to print dede, you will see what it will tell us now. Can you see, say name dede is not defined. So Python does not understand this instruction that we are giving it to it. That means we are not programming it correctly. We are giving it, is what is all an ambiguous meaning. We are giving it a different meaning that it doesn't understand, because there is dede here and this is dede, so that it doesn't understand. But if you put here, if you put this quote here, let's now print it. Can you see now it prints dede? It prints dede. You see, something is happening here. If you are writing a program now, if you print this dede and you are not referring to this name, it's actually printing something different for you. This is another meaning, and this is not what is printing for you. So this can be a very costly mistake. A very costly mistake if you made this kind of error in your program. So now what you are going to do, you are going to be referencing that variable. Is that variable that we are going to be referencing, and which is the name. So it will print dede. Now we can be sure that our program is working correctly if we point to this. Okay, let's move forward. Variables. And here, as I told you, this number one is a variable. Number two is a variable. What is a variable? Who can tell me what a variable means? You can check your dictionary. We need to make it interactive. You need to understand the basics. You need to understand even the English for you to be able to code effectively. If you don't understand what variable is, you may not get it. What is variable? Please, you can check your dictionary quickly. I want us to talk.
By dictionary.
Okay.
Can I continue, please?
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right. It's saying something that is something whose value may be dictated or discovered.
Good. Whose value may be what? Dictated or discovered.
Dictated or discovered.
Okay. All right. So from here, from my
Or
head
is
here,
the value that can change?
that can change.
Able
Great.
to vary, that can change,
That can change.
diversify.
So if you look at it now, so now if somebody asks you now what is a variable now, if you even made it merely looking at the word variable, it's something that varies.
Consistent.
Something that can change, something that can have different value, something that can have different meaning.
Having a fixed pattern.
Exactly.
Liable to change.
Liable to change. That is what variable. You can see now that it is represented as English here. That variable. So if you don't understand what variable is now, you might not really get it. But if you know what variable is, then you will know that I am writing a variable here, which is number one. So number one can be 2. Okay. So later here, I can decide to say number one is not 2 again. Number one is 6. Sure, you understand now? So now let me print number one. Let me print number one again now. You will see what it will print for you. It will not print this 2 for you again. Like. Can you see now from here? It is printing 6. So that is what variable means. That means it's changed here. So Python sees that this variable here is set to 2 and here is set to 6 already. So Python will ignore this. So now it is following the English rule, which is that something variable, that after something change, the next value to that thing should be the current value. It is dealing with the current value. So Python is dealing with most current value. So here, keywords. What are keywords? Keywords, if you look at the English dictionary too, so it might take time. We might not see that. You might think that what we are doing does not really make sense. Maybe if you are above this, you might not find it very interesting. But I can bet you will know the nooks and crannies of programming, and this is what hackers hackers that hack computer, that hack protocols, they know what each line of program can do. They can manipulate it. They can assign different meanings to it because they understand the roots of that program. But you that you are coding and you don't understand the root, an hacker can use it against you. But if you understand the root, you will program into them, say that hacker will know that this person knows what he is doing. So what does keyword mean? What does keyword mean? I want us to check. You have to check. Keyword.
Keyword
What?
is a
Yes, go ahead,
a
please.
reserved word which identifies a syntactic form.
A syntactic form. A draft. That word,
Form.
draft.
Any word, and
Go ahead, go ahead.
any word used as the keyword, any word used as the key, the main code, the main key of a word, of
The
a
main
sentence.
key of a word. So let us use that in there. You see, that word draft, I'm interested in it. That word draft is something. Like if, for example, now if you are writing an article, okay, and you write something and you didn't complete it, it will be in the draft, right? So if you come back for it again,
Yes.
you can edit that draft and continue with it. But you see here in Python, this print
Sorry,
word.
please, I have a question.
Okay,
Please.
okay, you can
No,
just
no,
note it down.
not
You can
now.
note it down so that we can just write it down, okay? So that you will not
Sorry for
forget.
all right, all right.
Okay, all right, thank you. So you see this print word is a Python keyword. And Python makes it that you cannot change this thing. You know that in some drafts, if you're writing a draft, you can change it, Abi. And some drafts, some article or blog, when you write draft and you complete it and you publish it, some blog will not allow you to change it again. So it varies, okay? But in Python rules, this print, you cannot use it as a what? As a variable. It's not possible in Python. It is a keyword reserved. They are called reserved words. Words that are reserved for Python alone. Because this print is a function, okay? I'm going to explain to you later. But let us understand that print is what? Is a keyword in Python. And not only print, there are so many keywords in Python. Just like this def now. This def now it means definition. It's a keyword. You cannot use def now and say def is equal to 2. Okay? If you try to print this now, Python will throw you error. Let's see it now. Let's see. Try to print it now. Can you see now? Python is starting that invalid syntax. That means that this thing is not assigned for your use of you. You cannot edit it. It's reserved for me alone. It's not for you. So this is keyword. So you should know that keyword, you cannot reassign them. Then logical and arithmetical operators. What are logical and arithmetical operators? These are operators. Like I told you in English, that there is a verb. Verb is an action word. Verb in English is an operator. It's something that acts, it's something that is work on, that something operates on. That is the word operator. Look at the word English, operators. Operator is something that operates something, something that do something. Okay? This equals to now is the one that do, is the action word here, is the operator here. Because number 1 is a variable. If you say number 2, it doesn't make a meaning. If you remove this equals to, our time is running. Our time is running out. But don't worry, if this time ends, I'll quickly create another one and send it on the group. We'll spend another like 30 more minutes.
No, we can even join with the same link back. We just leave and join with it back. It
Okay,
will take
okay,
us in.
okay, all right.
Don't create another one. We join with the same link.
Okay, all right, no problem. So now if you try to print it number 2, I say, okay, print number 1 for me. Let me comment this out. Let me delete this. Let us try to print this. Can you see now? It says invalid syntax. That means there's something here. This is ambiguous meaning. If you now put equals to is the operator, is the one that is telling you
We
that
can't see the details clearly.
you
Videos are
can
not clear for us to see at
you can see what?
all.
That should be on network. It should be on network. It's clear. That should be on
Okay,
network.
Is anybody cannot see my screen very well?
It's
We
clear
can
at my
see.
end.
We can see.
We can
Clear.
see it's
Okay.
from your own end.
So I think you can just try to leave and join again. The network might be bad from your side there. So like I'm saying here, number one, and you need to understand something for you. I'm going to be giving you some terminologies, because you will meet this in some, when you are reading some materials online and you are watching the video, they will not explain to you the details like this. They will never give you the details, but you will now be understanding what does this mean. You see this number here, number one here, is called the left operand. Okay, it's called the left operand. Number two here is called the right operand, and this one is the word operator. The left operand is the something, is the what, is the data that is operating on something. Okay, number one here is the data operating on something, is equals to is the operator. Can you see now? Number two here is the what? Is the operand, is the something you are operating on. Okay, it's just like now you are what if you ever how can I put it? Have you ever been to sawmill before? Sawmill, and like those guys that used to cut that wood, we call them operator. Abi?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So the
Yes,
operator
yes, yes.
is the one operating on the machine and on the wood, right? No, sorry, it's operating on the wood using the machine as an
Machine.
operand, and the wood is a one operand. There are two operand and there is one operator. So if you understand this, you can be able to relate you can be able to solve problem in the real life. You understand that, okay, this operator now that is operating on the wood now, there is a problem between the operator and the wood. There's something between the wood and the machine. So now how can we solve this problem in the real life? Then you now put in this one, you now comment that, okay, this is operator, this is operator, this is operand. So how can we solve this problem between the two real life, the three parties in the real life? So that is how it works. So let's continue here because of our time. If else condition, if else condition. Let me show you what if else condition mean. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, number is equal to 3. Okay, so I'll now say if number is equal to 4, if number is equal to 4, I'll now say print true. Okay, so now look at it now. S print it is wrong. It is wrong. Okay, now let us print this now. Let us run this this code. Let's run it. Can you see what it tells me? It said it is wrong. This is a valid Python code. Now, if you look at it, initially I wrote a variable. I assigned it 3 to it. So this number now is holding the value variable. It is valid. It is a statement. Now come here. This if else. Remember I told you something about sentence, that it has phrase and a clause. Are we there?
Yes. Yes.
All right. In this if else statement now, you also have what we call phrase and clause, but they will never tell you. This if, between this if here, can you see here? It is a phrase. Anytime you see this semicolon here in Python, it represents an incomplete statement. Incomplete statement. So if you what, let me comment this out now. If you comment this out and I'm trying to run this clause now, it will print it does not, it do not have any meaning to Python. Python will not understand it, and it will print error. Let's see now. Can you see what it's saying? It's a indentation expected an indented block. Can you see now? It's telling you that this thing is not a block of code. It is a what? A phrase. It is not complete. What? Excuse me. That is what Python is trying to tell you. So if you reverse it now, if you now print this now, this Python will come here. It now say if this number is equal to 4, and look at it, initially we set number to 3 here, and here you say if this number, this equals to here, it is a what? It is a comparison operator in Python. Please note it down. You can go and read it, read about it. I'll send you material later. It's what we call comparison. In JavaScript, it is represented as 3 equals to, and if you use 2 equals to in JavaScript, it's another meaning. Okay, so but in Python, 2 equals to is what? Is comparing two things together. We are comparing two values. Okay, this number is a value now. This number is representing value 3, and this is a value 4. And now we are saying that if number equals to 4, if this number, which is 3 here, is equal to 4, obviously they are not, it is not true. Print true. Otherwise, print wrong. So here now, Python will come, it will check this. Here it is a, and if you comment this, please. Somebody's
you can mute all over there, mute all over there, mute all over there, mute all over there.
I've muted him. I think Emeka. So can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying here is this: if you print this now, if you try to print this, it will work. Okay. If you're trying to print this, where is it? Okay. So let me say it here. It is true. I think this one is not. Why is it not printing? Okay. Okay, all right. Now, if you can see from here now, that's what I want to achieve. It said if number is equal to 4. You can see that I'm using just 1 equals to here, and it's showing me that it is an invalid statement. But here it is valid, okay? But here it is invalid because of the word if here. This if has made it a what? It has made it a phrase, another meaning or entirely. So now it's expecting that exactly. So it's expecting that something equals to should not be used here. It should be a comparison operator. A comparison operator. So now if you say if number is equal to 4 now, print it is true. And now if you try to print now, I think this I don't understand this this ID. There's a change in VS Code. It's supposed to print this too. Supposed to print this true now.
Why would it print and the statement is not complete? I thought it would say if, else, or if
the
then.
statement is not true.
Do you know why? Because actually this here, this place is a block, is a statement. Okay, and Python is supposed to print anything.